Hawaii's windward side are demanding the state repair an eroding bridge in Hauula. Coastal erosion along Kamehameha Highway has been an issue for years, so with each passing storm surge, it becomes more dangerous. Resident Derek Presley monitors the area often and says there are two things to worry about: hydroplaning cars and a crumbling bridge. Presley also says he's been trying to get the Department of Transportation to fix the bridge for years, but nothing permanent has been done.
Department of Transportation has done a survey over, I don't know, about 8 months ago, but literally no physical repair work whatsoever, and the erosion continues with each passing storm.
The bridge needs to be rebuilt. It has been needed for many years to help with the stream flow. And now, of course, with the obvious erosion on the Mackay side, you see the railing tipping over and falling over and the erosion there.
And there are plans to rebuild the bridge in the next 5 years, according to an Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization document, but residents say they are concerned the bridge won't hold up until then. KITV4 reached out to the state DOT for comment, but have not yet heard back. And new details overnight: the Honolulu medical examiner identifying a woman who died after a car crash on Liliha Street as 32-year-old Breon Lee. It happened around 1:30 Saturday morning, and police say Lee's truck was hit by a car driven by 20-year-old Ken Isaac after he ran a red light at the intersection of Liliha Street and Vineyard Boulevard. Isaac was arrested and charged for driving under the influence and driving without a license. A 66-year-old woman is in serious condition after a two-car crash near the intersection of Pi'ikoi Street and Young Street. Now, this all happened around 10 Sunday morning. That woman was pinned and needed to be rescued by emergency responders. 2 other people were involved in this crash but did not need treatment. And news on Hawaii Island: a man convicted of hitting a runner while driving under the influence is ordered to pay his victim's medical bills. And West Hawaii Today reports 70-year-old Nicholas Martin must pay more than $800,000 to cover pedestrian Robert Lamarca's medical expenses. Lamarca was hit back in December on Ali'i Drive of December 2017. He sustained a traumatic brain injury that left him in a coma for a month, and Martin is currently being held in custody on Oahu. In other news, in observance of the President's Day holiday, city and county offices are closed today, including all driver's licensing centers and satellite city halls. But your trash will still be picked up and transfer stations will still be open. On-street parking is free except along Kalakaua Avenue around Kapiolani Park, and parking restrictions are in effect in Lanikai, and the bus will run on a Saturday schedule. Happening this morning, thousands of runners and walkers are preparing to take to the streets for this year's Great Aloha Run. And over the weekend, participants geared up for the race by picking up their packets at the Great Aloha Run Fitness Expo. Roughly 20,000 people are expected to take part in today's race. And while many gear up to run, others say they're opting to walk the 8.15-mile course, kicking off from the start line at Aloha Tower to the Aloha Stadium.
I'm getting a little bit older now, and I want to do some health and fitness stuff, and really just focus on training my body, because I want to get ready for another run, which is the Honolulu Marathon.
Now, over the past 35 years, the event helped to raise more than $14 million for over 150 local nonprofit organizations. The start line ceremony does kick off this morning at 6:30, and the race does begin at 7. Time now 6:06. It's never too late to brush up on good oral hygiene habits. When we come back, we'll show you how Keiki are celebrating National Children's Dental Health Month. Don't go away. Good Morning Hawaii will be right back.
What's beefy, saucy, and big in Hawaii? The McTerry Deluxe. Take a good look at this teriyaki sauce patty in a...
Well, here's a story that may make you smile. February is National Children's Dental Health Month, and there's been a recent push by lawmakers to improve Hawaii's oral hygiene. So check out how Keiki got a hands-on approach in learning the benefits of keeping their teeth clean.
You pretty much, you've got a cavity.
I'm a social worker by trade, so I work in the healthcare industry. We see a lot of dental disease.
We have the worst children's dental health in the country.
Dietary habits in terms of the type of foods that they eat, if maybe too many sugary kinds of things.
Hawaii is ranked as the worst state in the nation nation when it comes to tooth decay in children. So state senators are looking to change that by introducing two new bills. The first, 1012, which adds fluoride to our public water system, and the second is SB 467, which expands health care coverage for adults.
Basic preventive cleanings and checkups, and being able to fill cavities and so on. So it's really an effort to try to give them the same benefits that the children have as well.
Right now, adults on Medicaid have to pay out of pocket for any dental work they need other than a tooth extraction. As for our keiki, at the 3rd grade level, health officials say we have more cavities than any other state, and prevention is key.
When you don't take care of your teeth, it can cause lots of other problems, pain issues, eating issues, nutritional issues.
Darren Shadell and his 2 kids are a few of the hundreds of people in the community to attend the Hawaii Dental Services Tooth Fairy Fun Day, an event held every year at the Children's Discovery Center.
And they love the face painting events that they have, like right here. So they come and they get the teeth painted on them. They learn a lot about oral hygiene.
And besides getting a chance to meet the Tooth Fairy herself, dentists were also on hand to provide free dental screenings to keiki in an educational effort to change our state's dental rankings for the better. And that right there was the 15th annual Tooth Fairy Fun Day in Kaka'ako. Well, coming up, we'll have another look at your weather and traffic just ahead. But first, another live look over Honolulu. Stay with us. You're watching Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back.
Lindsay, over to you.
And thank you, Tasia. And today is President's Day, a day when America honors all of its commanders-in-chief. And this time, it comes days after President Donald Trump declared a national emergency for more funds to build a border wall. John Lawrence explains why opinions on the matter are varying within Washington, D.C.
The Trump administration says there's a crisis along the southern border.
We're talking about an invasion of our country with drugs, with human traffickers.
On Friday, President Trump signed an emergency declaration in order to get more funds for his long-promised border wall.
He could choose to ignore this crisis, choose to ignore this emergency, as others have, but that's not what he's going to do.
Opinions are split on the issue.
If we give away, if we surrender the power of the purse, which is our most important power, there will be little check and no balance left. It'll not be a separation of powers anymore, just a separation of parties.
And unfortunately, when it comes to Trump, the Congress is locked down and will not give him what we've given past presidents. So unfortunately, he's got to do it on his own, and I support his decision to go that route.
Customs and Border Protection apprehended close to 400,000 people on the U.S.-Mexico border during the 2018 fiscal year. That's according to federal data. Many of those were claiming asylum. That's an increase from the prior year, but less than in 2016. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Democrats in the House could introduce and vote on a resolution that would attempt to overturn the national emergency. If so, it would head to the Senate, where it would also be voted upon. But if it passes the GOP-led Senate, President Trump would be able to veto it. And in more political news this morning, 2020 presidential hopefuls, they are already hitting the campaign trail.
I will work to end this new Cold War so that we can walk back away from this abyss of nuclear war.
And that right there, Hawaii U.S. Representative Tulsi Gabbard, she is currently in New Hampshire, where she voted and hosted 4 town halls, met with educators, veterans, groups, local Democratic Party leaders as well. New Hampshire is the first state to hold its primary that is slated for February 11th, 2020. And New Jersey Senator Cory Booker was also campaigning in the region. He is one of several candidates who backs universal health insurance, and he talked to voters about the challenges of getting reform on the issue through the Senate. Over the weekend, California Senator Kamala Harris in South Carolina, where she voiced her support for the new Green Deal. That's an aggressive Democratic plan to address climate change. And also, Senator Mazie Hirono supports the Green New Deal as well. Harris is expected to head to New Hampshire today. Former Vice President Joe Biden says he's still has not decided whether or not he's running for president in the year 2020. Biden says he's almost done thinking it through, but says he will let everyone know when he's made that decision. He's currently leading in numerous polls among Democratic contenders. New developments in the alleged attack reported by Jesse Smollett. Chicago police now want to interview the Empire actor. Police sources say new evidence suggests that Smollett orchestrated his own attack. And the sources say Chicago police believe Smollett paid two men to attack him, but the Empire Star denies those allegations. He claims he was attacked early January by two men who were yelling out racial and homophobic slurs. He says one attacker put a rope around his neck and poured an unknown chemical substance on him. Activists are now calling for Smollett's arrest.
We believe Jesse Smollett lied about being the victim of a hate crime and being assaulted, and for us, it's a slap in the face. Jesse Smollett put people's lives at risk and could have created a situation that was much damaging to those who are African American and those who do identify with the LGBTQ community.
Two brothers were arrested Wednesday, then released without charges Friday after Chicago police cited the discovery of new evidence. The mourning process continues in Aurora, Illinois, after 5 people were killed at their job at the Henry Pratt manufacturing facility. Police say 45-year-old Gary Martin opened fire on his co-workers Friday. He had just been let go from his job. This is what the scene looked like Friday evening in Chicago's suburban neighborhood. And from local police to SWAT teams, dozens of law enforcement responded to the shooting, and Martin was killed when he opened fire on police officers. Now, friends and family are remembering the victims, and Marcella Raymond takes us to the prayer vigil held to honor those lost.
The rain turned to snow, and the crowd drifted away, left to deal with their sorrow.
We come to you with broken hearts.
Broken hearts that will never fully heal. Pain that is now unbearable.
Life's short. Tomorrow's never promised.
Vicente Juarez's family grieved with hundreds of others who came to show their support to the friends and families of the men who were killed.
It's amazing, how fast things can happen. I'll remember him forever.
Vicente Juarez was one of 5 men shot to death on Friday. Crosses were put up in memory of Vicente, who was a grandfather of 8.
He was a great person, a loving father, a great uncle. It's a shame. It's a really big shame.
And Trevor Wayner, an intern on his first day. Josh Pinkard, who texted his wife that he loved her before he died. Clayton Parks, a loving father and devoted husband. And Russell Baer, who had vouched for the gunman and helped him get his job back 2 months before he killed him.
Sometimes we take things for granted, and anything can happen at any moment. You could leave your house not knowing if you're ever going to come back.
When the prayer vigil was over, a group walked 4 miles to the Aurora Police Department to put up crosses for the officers injured when they ran into a spray of bullets, no doubt saving the lives of many others.
The scars and wounds they bear may not be seen on the surface, but linger deep in their souls. Heal all who bear wounds from this tragic event.
The Juarez family may have come together in pain and tragedy, but they are now leaning on each other for comfort.
Definitely bringing the family even closer than we were already.
And that right there was Marcella Raymond reporting. A co-worker of Martin says the gunman used a pistol with a laser sight and was shooting everybody. Officials in Aurora have put together a GoFundMe campaign to help raise money for the families of the victims. And new this morning, a former employee for the data firm Cambridge Analytica subpoenaed by special counsel Robert Mueller. Cambridge Analytica was part of President Trump's 2016 campaign, but was shut down last year after it improperly obtained data from millions of Facebook users. Brittany Kaiser, a former director for the firm, did allegedly cooperate with Mueller's team, but her lawyer says the subpoena came, quote, long ago. Kaiser reportedly visited WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange a few months after the election. Well, air travel will soon no longer longer be just for males and females. New unspecified and undisclosed gender options are going to be available for passengers in the near future. According to Airlines for America, this move will provide a culture of diversity and inclusion. United Airlines says its passengers will be able to select the new option in only a few weeks. Others, including Alaska, American, Delta, and Southwest, say they are working on giving people more gender options as well. Papa John's is serving up the chance at a college education for its workers. The pizza chain is offering to pay all tuition for undergraduate and graduate online degree programs. The offer is being given to Papa John's 20,000 or so employees only. The company is also offering reduced tuition for the 70,000 people who work for its franchises. But there is a catch. Classes must be taken at Purdue University Global, which offers several online degree programs, and it's all part of a new initiative called Dough and Degrees. And Daiso opening up a second location in Hawaii, this time in Honolulu on the corner of Pi'ikoi and Young Streets. It's expected to open up this spring, and Japan's famous value store opened its first location in the state last month in the Pearl City Shopping Center. The new location is currently hiring. All right, time now is 6:42, and coming up, we'll have another look at your weather and traffic before you head out the door. Plus, doesn't it feel good to not pay less? Well, a popular discount shoe store shutting down all of its U.S. locations. Say it ain't so. You're watching Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back.
These days, business isn't business as usual. And as you grow, you want the right tools to help your business stay ahead. That's, okay, whatever that is. That's why Spectrum connects your business to a reliable, state-of-the-art network that provides all the bandwidth you need. So you can be ready for what's next.
Thank you, Tasia. In your morning business report, if you're looking to get an idea of how the stock market might perform today, look no further than Asia. Markets were higher across the major indexes, this coming amid optimism over U.S. and China trade talks. Japan's Nikkei average was nearly 2% higher. The Shanghai Composite, China's largest, at 1.6. A parliamentary committee is recommending the British government increase oversight of social media platforms. The report called out Facebook in particular, saying the social networking site violated data privacy and anti-competition laws. Facebook and other social networks have been facing increased scrutiny over how they handle user data. Finally, Payless is shutting down all of its U.S. locations. The Kansas-based Low Chain is liquidating its inventory in the U.S. and Puerto Rico. Stores will remain open until the end of March at the earliest. Increased competition from online retailers and discount stores such as TJ Maxx are attributing to the decision. Payless was founded in 1956 by two cousins offering footwear at affordable prices. Time now 6:48. When we come back, a last look at your morning weather and traffic before you head out the door. Also, another live look over Honolulu right now. Stay with us. You're watching Good Morning Hawaii. Be right back.